Good morning. Good morning. Um, Topic today is Stevie G's non-interview. This is a direct comment from the johnjamessite.com. The title is The Preferred Narrative. Kieran Jenkins is Channel 4 News' Scotland correspondent. He's accustomed to liaising with the spin doctors, whom are part and parcel of the political milieu. When only permitted to ask Jeremy Corbyn one question, he inquired, "Do you honestly believe that Britain is better off outside of the UK?" Not part of that this post. The answer is absolutely yes. Corbyn refused to answer the question, despite it being asked 6 times. If Corbyn had answered yes or no, he would have had to expound on his rationale, which is precisely what Jenkins was angling for. Mr. Jenkins' reputation evidently preceded him when he and his team from Channel 4 arrived as arranged at the Hummel Training Centre, HTC, to interview Steven Gerrard. Mr. Gerrard, not the sharpest tool in any box, is accustomed to the soft questions that he is asked by the SMSM. The latter are kept in check by James Traynor. Releasing the hack's personal details on follow and the concomitant death threats is not beneath Traynor, who could limbo dance under a snake. There can be no doubt whatsoever that Traynor prohibited Gerrard from being interviewed by Jenkins. One can understand why the portly spinmeister would have had concerns about putting Gerrard in a room with a journalist that he couldn't control. The following excerpts from Mr. Jenkins' Twitter account are instructive. Interview was arranged through maker of a new film about Steven Gerrard's life. Minutes before he was supposed to arrive, I was told by Gerrard's representatives that what he would and would not talk about. We agreed interview would mostly be about issues featured in the film. I said I like to explore what Gerrard's wife says about him being an emotional person. I was told not to reference his wife directly and say in the film it says you're an emotional person. Steven Gerrard's representative told me in no uncertain terms that he would not talk about the attacks on Neil Lennon or the current discussion around sectarianism in Scottish football. It was suggested I ask him in general terms what it's like to be manager of Rangers. Mr. Jenkins refers to the young lady who intervened prior to his prospective interview as a personal staffer. I contend that she was a PR representative dispatched by the film's production company to prep Gerrard. A feature on this biopic on Channel 4 News is the kind of publicity money cannot buy. James Traynor is the only one with the authority at HTC to prohibit Gerrard from participating in this interview. The film company's representative had evidently been briefed by Traynor when she reported back to him that Jenkins might veer from the preferred puff piece narrative. The die was cast. Mr. Jenkins and his team were left in their assigned rooms for hours. No one had the courtesy to inform Jenkins that the meeting was off, or in any way apologise for his inconvenience. Traynor provided the following to a tame hack at the Scottish Sun. It's simple. It was agreed that any interview around Steven Gerrard documentary would be predominantly film focused. There was an interview scheduled for today, but it became clear that journalist questions were not in keeping with this agreement. so the interview did not go ahead, to which Mr. Jenkins responded, Rangers claim there was advance agreement that questions would be predominantly about the film. This is untrue. However, my questions were predominantly about the film anyway. So if there had been any agreement, I would have been adhering to it. Traynor also imparted to his copy glove puppet that the interview had originally been set up with another Channel 4 reporter who couldn't make it, with Jenkins taking his place at that late notice. Mr. Jenkins responded, the latest false claim is that the Gerrard interview was supposed to be with another reporter who couldn't make it at late notice. This is 100% false. And actually quite amusing someone would bother to make this stuff up. I've been at pains to highlight, this is JJ, I've been at pains to highlight the subversive influence of Traynor in the SMSM and his forays into social media via his comments on Follow. The latter was revealed by the Daily Record, much to Traynor's chagrin. Traynor keeps his hacks well fed on succulent PR cutlets. The Scottish Sun reported that Gerrard is eyeing up 4 players in the January window. The Gullibillies are being led to believe that the parent company of their new club has money to burn, despite reporting record losses. This is Traynor at his mendacious best. Traynor would prefer someone of the ilk of Jim White to inquire, Stephen, why are you and Rangers so good? The truth will in time set us free from the scourge of Traynor and those of ilk. So why would I bother recording this comment? Quite simply, because like the deep state here in the United States, the deep state in Scotland is run by the Scottish Rites Freemasons. And truth is not permitted to be written about, spoken about, or even asked about. Stephen Gerrard is not a very smart man. He could easily be misled or led into revealing pretty revealing stuff. And James Traynor isn't a journalist. He's never been a journalist. The guy's a clown. As for Sevco, because Rangers are officially dead, Rangers were liquidated. And when Rangers were liquidated, Rangers ceased to exist. Rangers' record of whatever titles is gone. They talk about going for 55. I posted this a few times yesterday on Twitter before I was suspended on Twitter, that this is how the Rangers Masonic Orange Protestant Company count. Rangers were born 1912. This Rangers, TRIFC, Sevco 5088, were born in 2012. They won the Scottish 5th tier. They were promoted beyond the 4th tier to the 3rd tier by the Masonic Hampden Lodge. They won the 3rd tier. In both the 5th tier and the 3rd tier, they used millions of pounds of money they didn't have. And they took players from international setups to play against plumbers, plasterers, engineers, maybe even a doctor or two, and postmen, unemployed guys. And it cost them millions when they could have done the same as Hearts did when they had to step down one division and play with the kids. They could have taken the young team in. They could have taken the reserves in. They could have, bought some players that were maybe first division level who could win in who were first division tier 3 level who could have won comfortably in tier 5. But so they won in. I can never work this freaking thing out, right? So they won in the 5th division. They won in the 3rd division. They won in the 2nd division. And they were promoted. Actually, they won eventually in the 2nd division. Jambos beat them. And they won. So they were promoted to the first tier of Scottish football, the Scottish Premiership. They even won a Diddy Cup. So Rangers have won 4 titles. TRIFC, the new team, the new company, who are not Glasgow Rangers FC, who were liquidated and the company and the club ceased to exist. So they won title number 1, 5th tier, title number 2, 3rd tier, title number 3, 2nd tier, and the Diddy Cup. 4 titles and trophies. 3 titles, 1 trophy. 4 titles and trophies. But Rangers fans, Sevco fans, the great deluded, believe they are going for title trophy number 55. It's very, very easy. Having been educated in a good schooling system in Scotland, that the counting system goes something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, ad infinitum. Down Ibrox way, the counting goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 55, 742, 981, 1432, 1984, 2471, or whatever number we decide to go to next. Liquidation caused Rangers, Glasgow Rangers FC, to cease to exist. That's it. That's the definition in law, and it's the definition in the dictionary. Liquidation. They ceased to exist. Glasgow Rangers were liquidated. Done. Dusted. A new co was formed. The new co had to reapply for European membership. They were only given associate membership. They weren't given a membership. They were described as associate members because former club had been a member. They went into the 5th division. Come on. All this spin doctoring stuff about Premiership, Championship, 1st division, 2nd division, 3rd division is bollocks. Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, Division 4, Division 5. Now, I think it's absolutely astonishing that the great TRIFC won Division 5 just in their first attempt. I think it's astonishing that they won Division 3 at their first attempt. I think it's astonishing that they won Division 2 at their first attempt. And I think it's astonishing that they actually won a Diddy Cup. What's more astonishing is that the Masons who run Scottish football, the Scottish media, the Scottish police, the Scottish judiciary, actually think that we are stupid. Nope. No, sirree, Bob. We are not stupid. Believe it or not, this is something that I studied in school in 1994-5 term, before I went to university. I had to go back and prove that I was smart enough to go into university as a 39-year-old. And in one of the reports, I had to create a report. It stated that there were more geniuses per head of population among the Scots than there were in any other nation on earth, other than the Jews. We, the Scots, produce more geniuses than any nation other than the Jews, the Jewish nation, the Jewish people, Israelites. But then again, we Scots are Israel. We are scattered Israel. We are the house of Ephraim. So it's understandable that having been around for less time than the genius Jews or genius Israelites, that they would have more geniuses than we have. We're articulate. We're able to read reports. We're able to discern truth from error. By the way, that's given to everybody. Believe it or not, when Sevco fans say that Rangers is still the same club, they know the truth. They absolutely know the truth. Because it is given to every man to know the difference between truth and error. Great religious discussion says that Lucifer, Satan, lied to Eve when he said to her that they wouldn't die, that they would become as the gods, knowing good from evil. Now, much is made of the comment that Satan lied when he said that they would become as the gods, knowing good and evil. Have a look at this the text. Read the entire chapter. Go down to verse 22, where, speaking between themselves, the Godhead, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, the Father says, the man has become like one of us, as one of us, knowing good and evil, or knowing good and evil. That means Satan didn't lie about that. Satan lied. Lucifer lied when he said they wouldn't die. And die they did. They died after a long time. Almost 1,000 years they actually lived. But Satan lied. They died. Satan didn't lie when he said that they, Adam and Eve, would become like the gods to know good and evil. Every single human being beyond the age of 8 knows good and evil. Everybody. That's why people who, when they go into a supermarket to steal a bar of chocolate, you just walk in, they look around, they look left, they look right, they look around to see if there's any cameras watching, then they take the bar of chocolate, stick it in their pocket and sidle away. They don't just walk in, grab a bar of chocolate, rip the paper off while everybody's standing there and eat it, and then just walk out the door. They don't do that. They don't do that with many things. Unless, of course, you're Raymond Chaya. Raymond used to do that. But he wasn't stealing. He was dealing with a businessman. And he would go in and he would be chatting to the businessman about his needs. And he would be supplying him with paper rolls, and he would be supplying him with ink ribbons and typewriters and price marking guns and shop fitting stuff. And while they were talking, he would just lift a bar of chocolate and eat it. It was not a problem, and it was accepted. It was just done. But it wasn't theft because they were still in business. And the customer knew, the owner of the business knew, that he was going to get a discount to cover the bar of chocolate, or the packet of sweets, or the mince pie, or the steak pie, or the bridie, or the sandwich, or whatever Raymond picked up. It was accepted. But if someone was going in planning to steal, the person would do so evasively. They know Rangers were liquidated. They own dictionaries, some of them. Some of them can even read dictionaries. And some of them can read newspapers. Some of them can listen to Channel 4 News. And some of them can hear the answers that Stevie G would have given to Kieran Jenkins. Actually, I think the name Kieran threw them off for a start. They would probably, I think Kieran Jenkins is probably Welsh, but having the name Kieran, I mean, that's a Gaelic name, isn't it? They're probably Fenians, they're probably Irish. You look at that, Kieran Tierney. These guys are so despicable, dishonest, and shitty. I can actually smell them from over here. I really can. I can smell them from over here. The television goes on, and I go, "What's Rangers that are playing?" Ooh. Okay, so not quite like that, but you understand what I'm saying. So why did I post this? Because I can. Posted it because I can. I posted it because somewhere down the line it needs to be recorded. I am so grateful to the John James side. I'm not quite as grateful to Phil McGillivan because he has taken some of John James's stuff and posted it on his own pages as his own. That's wrong, plagiarism. But I love a lot of the stuff that he writes, and he takes the time when he doesn't have the nous himself to do certain things. He goes to Rugger Man or Rugger Guy or whatever he is to get some of the details, whereas John James actually has the nous. And he can do a lot of the research himself, and he's reporting from his own knowledge. But both of them admit to having sources. I too have my sources. My sources on the secret combinations come from direct revelation and scripture written by apostles and prophets of God. It's all there, it's all defined. It tells us the nature of these individuals. It tells us what they're doing. They will turn everything upside down. They turn the whole world upside down. They actually blow smoke across mirrors. So what happens with smoke and mirrors? First of all, we're looking through a glass darkly. Okay, you can't really see what's in the mirror because there's 150,000 people smoking in the room. But that's been banned in many places. You can't walk into certain public places smoking now. You're not allowed to do that. But the other thing is that when the mirror kicks things back, it's like me lifting my right hand and expecting to see on the screen my right hand, and I'm not. I'm seeing my left, and I'm doing this, and I don't even 1, 2, 3, 4, 55. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 55. So the great Glasgow Rangers are dead. The great Glasgow Rangers were liquidated in 2012. I love to use the word liquidized. They were actually turned into Fitball soup. Fitball soup. Glasgow Rangers FC. The bits that were left were transferred out because the people didn't want to play for Newco. And they admitted it was Newco. And they wouldn't sign it, and they wouldn't accept the terms that were given to them. They wouldn't accept lesser wages, they wouldn't accept the contracts, so they all transferred out. Some of the kids were left, and, you know, 1 or 2 died in the wool. People hung around, but they transferred out, and everybody knew. Even the Herald, the Glasgow Herald, posted a picture of the death of Rangers. Rangers are dead. Born, died. That's it. 1873 to 2012. Dead. These people are really, really understanding. When somebody delivers the definition of liquidation for them and delivers the proof using not social media, but using the the records provided for by the mainstream media, by the courts, and proving that even the royal family have been found guilty of abducting, possibly actually more abuse is there. They're accused of all sorts of things in the disappearance of a group of Catholic school pupils were the children of native Canadian Indian extraction. They disappeared. They were never seen again. Queen and Prince Philip turned up. Everybody was dressed up all fancy, like they'd never been dressed in their lives. They might even have been given something decent to eat. And the Queen selected a few, and probably Philip selected a few, but a few were selected and they were never seen again. One of the group, or one of the people at the school who was brave enough to go to report at the trial, he was murdered. These people don't want to hear these things. So, as in Russia, as in China, as in Vietnam, they would just take people out. And you would have a pile of skulls and bones discovered later by investigators or archaeologists or whatever. But history was written. History has been, to them, carved in stone. No, it's carved in ice. The ice that runs through their veins. By the way, the light, the heat of the sun melts the ice. And all the engravings and carvings and scratches melt. I love that. Smell away. So, Stephen Gerrard was protected by gym trainer Sluggy. Well, he's a rat of a man, not a good man at all. And also protected was Dave Cunning Bastard King, a convicted felon, a glib and shameless liar. Now, that has to be allowed because it was said by a judge in the South African court that David Cunning Bastard King is a glib and shameless liar. And he is currently being pursued through the courts and refusing to adhere to court pronouncements and decisions. And he's hiding his money and I can't transfer my money from South Africa to Britain. He's a freaking liar. He's doing it frequently. He's doing it all the time. But he could also just put it in a plane and fly it all over in cash if he wants. He's not doing that either. And when Rangers are in deep trouble, he doesn't put in money. He invents shares. And the money that the internal debtors are owed is paid back to them with new shares. So when saying they raised 14 or 15 million, they actually got less than 2 million, $1.5 million, 1.75 million. And all of that came from a fund where certain Rangers people contribute £18.72 a week or a month or whatever. £18.72 each into a fund. That's where the 1.75 million came from. It came from fans. I feel sorry for the fans, but they're so freaking deluded. They won't listen, they won't read the truth. They just listen to the same lodge bullcrap. Stephen Gerrard doesn't have the nous to deflect. And to be quite honest, nobody should have to deflect media questions. Media should have a degree of common sense than come in and ask ridiculous questions. The media shouldn't do that, but they do. And the media in Scotland, the SMSM, the Scottish mainstream media, they are stenographers. They have been defined as stenographers by a real journalist, by real people. They just write what they've been given, write what they've been told to write. They're not good people at all. There is no reporting on what's going on at Ibrox. There is a press release, and the press release is just copied verbatim, same as we get here in the United States, all the way through the United States. Donald Trump gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning and he starts telling everybody what he's going to do through QAnon. And at the same time, the media read what he's going to do. And then they share a message, and that message is shared almost exactly in every one of the mainstream media newsprint. That's not reporting. That's not reporting. It's bollocks. So, 31 minutes and 40 seconds in, I'm going to wind this up. Stevie G being protected by Jim Traynor. Who's going to protect Jim Traynor from himself? This is the end of the stream, but it's not the end of the living water.